Hey, what's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, checking out two wallets from Spark Supply Co. And they're a small veteran-owned and operated business making handmade goods out of Virginia, so right here in the US. Also super affordable. Right up top we have the Jamestown Lite V2 at $18.95. Super minimalist. You got one internal, or I guess external pocket with an elastic loop that's sewn in on three sides. We'll talk a little bit more about why I really like how the elastic loop is done here. So that's a kind of cash slot. The one right below that is the Slim. It's obviously a bifold, so a little bit larger, but when you see them closed up, they're both 4 inches tall by 2 3/4 inches wide. A little bit different thicknesses here. The Slim is super slim at 0.26 inches thick, measured on digital calipers. That's obviously empty. If you load it out, it's going to depend on how many cards you put in there. The Jamestown Lite is 0.16, so even slimmer than the Slim, but obviously doesn't fold, so that makes sense. Now, the Slim is $26.95, so still super affordable. Pay attention if you care about the materials to which colorway you're ordering. They're gonna get slight differences, but they're pretty comparable, honestly. So, on the duck camo that I have here, we have a 1000D laser cut nylon. You see that laser cut logo in there, it looks really cool. Showing through is an Elopak EPX 200 with that bright orange colorway. And so I think that looks really cool, a really nice touch of color. On the Jamestown Lite, we have two different materials. We have a 1000D Cordura on that main, and this is their woodland camo, this is the duck camo, so that is what those two look like. And behind that, the high-vis orange that you see is actually X-Pac VX25, so both materials are going to be different on these. But similar construction, you see single stitch, really well done, no loose stitching anywhere to be found. You do see where it closes off right here with a little bit of a double stitch, but otherwise super clean design, really well done. And at that price point, really feels like a steal, to be honest. Now, I did two wallets here intentionally, and I've recently moved over to a two wallet system, and so these are going to be the kind of new two wallets in the rotation for a little bit. I'm going to do an update video on the previous ones, the Alpaca Gear Arc wallet, as well as the Up Card Holder V2, which I don't have here. It's actually in my car, and I didn't want to go out and get it to film the video, so we'll do an update video on those soon. But I'll explain how I plan on using these, but also just kind of talk about their features. So the Jamestown Lite V2, obviously minimal, one pocket, that elastic loop. It's rated for 8 to 12 cards, and I have 12 cards here. Well, actually I have 11 cards here, 10 credit cards, an ID, and let's do an RFID blocker. This is a regular credit card thickness one, rather than one of these super thin RFID blockers. So 12 cards, and I'll show you. They do fit in here really well. It will take them, and actually still remained relatively compact. It seems a little bit crazy to me to carry that many cards. I'm pretty minimalist when it comes to my wallets, and so 12 cards is definitely more than I'd ever carry. It just feels like you're carrying around a Rolodex of credit cards at that point, but it will take them all in that one pocket, and you still have access to that elastic strap on the back. Still have plenty of room. You can get these out easily. It's not too tight. It probably could fit a couple more, honestly, but you're gonna have a hard time just cycling through all these because there's no real organization there. So the Slim, on the other hand, has 6 internal pockets, 1 external pocket. No real designated place for cash, although you can definitely fold it up and stuff it in the back here. I actually left one of those RFID cards in here. Stuff it in the back here. But let's talk about how I plan on using these. If you've seen enough, you want to buy these or check them out, I'll leave a link in the description. But I'm going to talk about kind of my two wallet system and how I plan to use these at this point. You'll also get a little bit of better sense of how these pockets work with it loaded out. But for my main EDC wallet, I'm going to be using the Slim. And for this wallet, I'm pretty minimal. I'm going to carry actually, I'll probably put a debit card on the outside because that's my most used card. I don't get carded that often or need my ID, but we'll put my ID right in this front slot on the right side. Now, typically I'll carry a personal debit as well as a business debit. Oh, actually the personal debit would have been on the outside. Personal credit card as well as a business debit on top of my personal debit. And those are the 3 credit cards that I carry. Now, I don't usually carry like my business credit card because typically I'm using that at home for like software purchases, stuff like that. Really only need the debit, so I'm gonna put that in the back. It's less used than my personal credit card. card, and I'll usually only carry one credit card even though I have multiple, and that's because I try and pay off my credit cards each month, so I'll cycle through which one's in there. And don't want to have all of them in one place. If your wallet gets stolen or you lose it, you lose all of your cards. So having only one means that while you're calling all the banks and credit card companies to get replacements, you still have cards that you can use. But if you put everything in one wallet and you lose it, you're really just kind of having to replace those, try and get some sort of temporary card numbers that you can manually enter. It's really painful. So definitely would recommend not carrying all of your cards. One other thing that I plan on adding in here is that RFID blocker. You only really need it on one side if you're really intentional about how you're going to put your wallet in your pocket. So for me, there's one external pocket, and that's on this side where the debit card is. So I know that's always going to be the side I put in my front pocket. That's always going to be the side facing my leg. This is always going to be the side facing the outer pocket. And so if someone hits you with an RFID scanner, it's going to block all of those cards with only one card. So you don't actually need to. If it makes you feel more comfortable, you can put another one outside of here, but it just seems inconvenient for me and the way that I plan on using it. But if it makes you feel comfortable, definitely a possibility. And you can see, even with cards in here, extremely thin, there is room in this back pocket. If I want to put some cash, you can. I'm not planning on using it that way, so I'm not going to do it, but that's going to be what's in my pocket. Now, the second wallet in this system and how I've been using it is going in my glove box. And so this is cards like my Costco card, my AAA card, maybe my Barnes & Noble's membership, and my insurance card folded up, my car registration folded up, and those like coffee shop, buy 6 coffees, get the 7th one free type cards. And so those are gonna be what goes in here. It will go in my glove box. Now it also has this back pocket for elastic, or the elastic pocket for cash mainly, but you can put other things in there as well. I have 10 bills here just so you can see. Don't plan on putting 10 bills in here, but it will easily accommodate those and you still have easy access to them. Now, what I plan on putting in this back pocket is a little bit of cash, so maybe a 20, a 10, 2 5s, and that's probably about it. $40 is gonna cover most situations, emergency cash that I need. Also gonna shove in my P.O. box key, and I only go to my P.O. box once or twice a week, and so don't need it on my main key ring, and that's true for all of these cards. I go to Costco maybe twice a month, I go to Barnes & Noble's once a month, and AAA I almost never call. I have the app on my phone even if I didn't have the card, and these are all cards that I can leave in my car. If it gets stolen, I lost the $40, have to get replacements of the cards, but really, and obviously a new key for the P.O. box, but really not losing anything important by leaving this in my car if it does get stolen. But hopefully it's kind of just out of sight, out of mind, and doesn't get stolen. But in any case, that's been working really well for me. It keeps my pocket really minimal, really light. You can see this is still super thin. Actually, just had a curiosity since this is mimicking the actual loadout I'm going to be doing. So we're at about 0.4 inches fully loaded out on how I'm going to be using that. So really, really thin. Definitely like that quite a bit. Really excited about this. I love that pop of color. I wish that were actually on here somehow, but even if they did do that, they'd have to put another liner because the cards would block it from the current orange liner, so that probably just increases the cost. No reason to do that. Also wouldn't mind seeing this with kind of a high contrast, maybe orange threading, something like that for a little bit more pop of color, but I think it looks good as is. Actually, I think this looks really good. Love the way these came out. Super excited about it. I'll put links in the description to both of them, and as well as just kind of their general store. Not affiliated with them at all, but always love this type of thing. It's not something that, you know, I only buy American made because that would be really limiting on the types of stuff I can show on the channel. Also, sometimes American made is really expensive, so I love when I find like these American made products that are pretty budget friendly. Honestly, you can get both of these for, I think I paid around like 40 something bucks, not too bad, for 2 wallets that are really high quality, look great, and are supporting a veteran owned business. So love that sort of thing. Definitely gonna give these a chance, probably a good month or 2 on these ones as well before I do an update video. Stay tuned for the update video on the alpaca. We'll probably do that in the next week or 2. But thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of these, what your wallet system is, if it looks anything like this, if you carry 2 wallets. Well, I guess I don't really carry the second one, it's just in my car, but if you kind of use a similar system, down in the comments below. But as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.